I met Sarah at a party. She was funny, smart, and beautiful. We started talking that night and kept texting afterward. Soon we were going on dates, spending weekends together, and acting like a serious couple. Everything moved quickly, but I liked it at first. She made me feel special. She told me how lucky she was to have me. I thought it was love. Real love. But now I know it was something else. She was moving fast because she wanted control. I didn't see the signs. I just thought I was falling for someone perfect. A few months into the relationship, Sarah started talking about the future. She asked me questions like, "What should we name our baby?" Or, "Do you think we'll get married soon?" It felt too fast, but when I hesitated, she'd get upset. She'd cry or accuse me of not caring. I didn't want to hurt her, so I kept saying what she wanted to hear. I ignored my doubts because I wanted peace. I didn't realize she was slowly taking away my choices. Every time I agreed with her, she had more power over me. Then one night, Sarah sat me down and told me she was pregnant. She smiled and said it was a surprise, but also a gift. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I wasn't ready to be a dad, but I told her I'd support her. I thought it was the right thing to do. She looked so happy. I pushed my fear away and started trying to act responsible. I started saving money, thinking about the future. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Something about her story didn't add up. After she said she was pregnant, she started acting like we were already a family. She picked baby names, talked about where we'd live, and started telling people. But when I asked to come to her doctor appointments, she always said no. She made excuses every time. The doctor said no guests, or, "I feel too sick today." I started feeling shut out. When I asked questions, she'd say I was stressing her out. I didn't want to fight, so I stayed quiet. But my doubts were growing stronger. Something wasn't right, and I knew it. She started getting angry whenever I brought up the pregnancy details. I'd ask about the due date or the hospital, and she'd explode. She'd yell, cry, and say I didn't trust her. I started feeling guilty. Was I being too harsh? Too suspicious? I didn't know anymore. I stopped asking questions, but I started looking around. I checked her trash and her bathroom. No pregnancy tests, no prenatal pills, nothing. I even looked at her phone when she wasn't paying attention. No doctor texts, no health apps. That's when I knew. I had no proof she was pregnant at all. I had to know for sure. So one day, I told her I had work. She said she was going to a doctor appointment. After she left, I followed her in my car. I felt nervous and wrong, but I had to do it. She didn't go to a clinic. She went to a cafe and ordered a drink with alcohol. I stayed in my car and took a picture. That was it. That was my proof. She wasn't pregnant. She had made the whole thing up. I sat there, shocked. Everything I thought was real suddenly felt fake. I went home and didn't say anything. She came in later, acting sweet like nothing happened. I wanted to scream, but I stayed quiet. I needed more than just a photo. I needed her to admit it somehow. So I played along. I acted normal, kind, supportive. I told her I loved her. But in my head, I was planning. I started recording our conversations. I saved texts and emails. I waited for her to slip up. I didn't want revenge. I wanted the truth. I wanted to end it in a way she couldn't deny. A few days later, she was on the phone with her friend. She had it on speaker. I was in the hallway, listening quietly. She laughed and said, "He still thinks I'm pregnant. He won't leave me now." I felt sick, but I also felt ready. I hit record on my phone. That was the proof I needed. Her own words. Her lie. Now I could show people what really happened. I backed up the recording and saved everything. It was time to end the game. I had been fooled, but now it was my turn to show the truth. I planned a dinner and invited her parents. I told Sarah we had a big surprise to share. She got dressed up and acted excited. She thought I was going to propose. I cooked dinner, lit candles, and acted like everything was fine. Her parents came and smiled, asking what the news was. After we ate, I said, "I want to play something first." I pressed play on the recording. Her voice played through the speaker. "He still thinks I'm pregnant." Her mother's face dropped. Her father sat in silence. Sarah froze. She knew it was over. She told me to stop the recording, but I didn't. I showed her parents the messages, the photos, the proof. Her mother started crying. Her father stood up and left the room. Sarah didn't say a word. She just looked down at the floor. No yelling, no arguments, just silence. She was caught. Everything she had built on lies was falling apart. And I didn't have to scream. The truth was louder than any fight. That night, she lost her parents' trust. She lost mine too. But most of all, she lost her control over the story. The next morning, I packed my things and left. I didn't say goodbye. I blocked her number and made sure she couldn't contact me. She tried, of course. She emailed, called from new numbers, begged to talk. I didn't respond. I didn't owe her anything. Not after what she did. A few weeks later, I heard she lost her job. Someone had shared the recording. I wasn't behind it, but I wasn't surprised. People started seeing the truth. Some of our friends stopped talking to her. Some still believed her lies. I didn't care. I was free now. I moved into a small apartment by myself. I started over. For the first time in months, I could sleep without stress. I focused on work, saw friends, again, and felt like myself. At first, I felt sad and confused. I kept asking myself how I didn't see it sooner, how I let it go that far. But then I realized something. It wasn't my fault. I trusted her. I cared. That's not weakness. She took advantage of my love. That's on her. I learned a lot. Now I listen to my gut. I ask questions. I protect my peace. Sometimes I still think about her. Not because I miss her, but because of what she taught me. She showed me how dangerous lies can be, how love can be used as a trick. I won't let that happen again. I know the signs now. I know what real love looks like, and what control looks like too. If someone gets angry when you ask honest questions, that's not love. If someone lies to keep you close, that's not love. I won't ignore those signs again. I'm not bitter, I'm just smarter. And that's enough for now. People ask if I'll ever date again. I will. But I'll take my time. I'll look for honesty, not charm. I'll trust my feelings, even when they tell me something's wrong. I won't let fear of being too suspicious stop me from asking what I need to know. I've been through something hard, but I came out stronger. I didn't lose myself. In fact, I found the real me again. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. And I won't settle for less just to avoid being alone. I'd rather be alone than lied to. If you're reading this and going through something similar, I want you to know. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not overthinking. If your gut says something is wrong, listen to it. You don't need permission to ask questions. You deserve honesty. Don't let someone twist love into a trap. You can leave. You can speak up. You can protect yourself. It might take time, but truth always comes out. You don't have to shout to be heard. Sometimes the calm truth is more powerful than any fight. And when you finally walk away, you'll feel free too. This was my story. Not for attention, but for truth. I got tricked by someone I loved, but I didn't stay broken. I found a way to escape the lie. I didn't become cold or angry. I became wise, strong, real. If you've been lied to, you can still come back. You can still find your way. Don't give up on love, but don't let anyone fool you into thinking love means giving up your voice. Love is honest. Love is safe. And now I know how to find the real thing, because I walked away from the fake.